this video, I'm going to show you how to do an adductor stretch. So the adductor is a muscle that's going to be in the inner thigh, and this is also part of your hip complex muscle, so it does help with hip flexion as well as extension. For those of you that have really tight adductors, hip adductors, and there is a difference between abductors AB and adductors AD. What I'm saying is adductors ADD, and it's basically a muscle that adds to the midline of the body. So if you think about adding to the midline or adding to the body, that's where that muscle, that's where you can think about adductors. That would be the way to remember it. But typically for people that do have tight hip adductors, whenever you're squatting down, as soon as you start to get tired with your squats, then your knees start to go in and then come out once you're tired. So that's a muscle that we definitely need to release. We need to get it to relax a little bit and stop being so overactive. That way, whenever you do advanced movements like squats and lunges, you have the right muscles that are firing and not this muscle that's taking over. So I'm gonna give you a couple of stretches. Stretch number one is going to be just a sumo stretch. So what you're gonna do is get into a sumo squat position, and you're gonna put your hands on your knees, and what you're gonna do is actually push with each arm, push the knee away from the body. So if you are using your right hand to push away, or if you're going to your right knee, basically you use that right hand and push the knee in the opposite direction of where your face is. And you hold that for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then you can alternate to the other side as well. Just take the left hand, push the knee away from your head, and you'll feel that stretch on that inner thigh. That's gonna be stretch number one. Stretch number two is actually a stretch that I tell all of you guys to do when you come in for your session, and that's going to be a lateral lunge stretch. So what you're doing is you're lunging to the side, but then I want you to put your hands down to the floor so that you have good stability. You wanna keep both your heels and the balls of your foot on the floor as you lengthen one leg and you push your hips down to the floor, and you're gonna feel that stretch in that inner thigh. You hold that for about 5 to 10 seconds, and then you alternate to the other side. Again, lengthening one leg, putting your hands on the floor for stability, because I don't want you getting tired or feeling like you're lunging. I want you to actually feel the stretch on that inner thigh. That's going to be stretch number two. Okay, and stretch number three is going to be a frog stretch. So what you're gonna do is get on all fours, both your hands and knees. And with your knees together, you're going to separate them, put them apart as far as you can, and then I also want you to bend your knees and your feet at 90 degrees, okay? So both knees and ankle joints should be bent at 90 degrees. And what you're gonna do is you're going to push down, separate your knees and push it down into the ground as far as you can. You can take a deep breath in and try to push your knees together while they're on the floor, and then exhale and separate them and push them apart. And every time that you take an inhale and you're bringing those knees closer together, you should feel a little bit of tension. When you exhale, you're trying to separate your knees apart more and more, okay? And you can do this anywhere from 12 to 15 reps of just inhaling and then exhaling and trying to separate the knees a little bit more. And that you will also feel on your inner thigh. So for those of you, whenever you are in your personal training session and I tell you your adductors are tight, that means that it's your inner thighs that you need to stretch out, and you can go back to this video and do these stretches so that you can open up your adductor muscles.